What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what you should be watching for moving forward. I'm also going to break down why on Earth November could be the month. And it's likely going to be when we see a very, very big bounce for the S&P 500, why we're going to see a lot of buyers stepping right back in, and why I think that this drop that's coming right now, the future drop that's going to come to the S&P 500 and SPY is going to be a big trap for millions and millions of investors. So I'm going to break down my view for the markets, how I think 2024 is going to go, and also the next 2 months, and some very important things about how the stock market is looking. But before I break anything down, all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends in just 4 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. So I wanted to break down something very important. So the SPY and the S&P 500, they started selling off quite aggressively again on Friday. So now the market clearly has not truly bottomed, in my opinion. I think there's likely going to be more downside looking at the daily, but my view of the market has stayed the same. It's just that we're dropping a little bit more than expected for October. And with all this crazy selling going on, I believe that this is going to likely lead to some very big changes with the way the market is going to be viewed. And it's going to continue to feed into that bearish sentiment amongst investors. So, why do I think the market may bottom soon? What do I think could cause it to happen? And why do I think there could be a huge short squeeze coming very, very soon for November and December? And I'm going to break down why I believe it's very probable and what on earth could cause that to happen. So, the first thing to remember is that going forward on Wednesday, we have the FOMC meeting. Everything could change after FOMC because you never know what Jerome Powell is going to announce. Now, the latest PCE report that came out was aligning with expectations, and so was CPI. In my opinion, the Fed does not have to be too aggressive. They're either going to give us either a quarter point hike, or they're going to basically like skip / pause on this next meeting. In doing so, this could be very bullish for the stock market if that ends up being the case. If not, we always need to be prepared for anything, because November could always be capricious, but I am anticipating some upside still to come. Now, on top of that, we also have Apple's earnings. That can be very important for the way the market moves for Thursday. So make sure you're prepared for these two events for Wednesday and Thursday, very big things for the week. But one thing that's very important is that we saw a big surge in put options being bought in the market. We're starting to see more sellers coming in. People are betting there's going to be a huge crash. And what you'll notice is that starting on November 3rd, we have over that's like close to 700,000, or maybe even more than that. About 700,000 puts are expiring. We have a 2.4 put to call ratio. Later into November, we have about 2.3 million plus puts expiring on November 17th. 2.07 put to call ratio. The next week, a 2.1, a 2.59, a 2.08 puts to call ratio. We're seeing millions and millions and millions of puts being bought. For December 15th, we have over 2.4 million puts expiring for OPEX. So many people are buying puts. Puts are everywhere for the next 2 months. Not just the next 2 months, the next 4 months. And people are betting there's going to be a huge crash coming. The big crash is coming. We're going to see the market tank like it's 2008. People are expecting it. Okay. If everyone's expecting a crash, do you believe it's going to happen? In my opinion, the answer is no. I don't think it's going to happen like that. Now, on top of this, let's look at some technical indicators. The fear and greed index is on extreme fear. So everyone is so fearful, they're panicking. And like I said last week, this is when you become greedy. This is when it's time to become greedy. Now, could the market drop more? It does look bearish. We could drop a little bit more. I could see SPY coming down to 405, even 400 as the next levels. Okay, that's fine. But remember, I view this as an opportunity to buy the dips. This is a major, major buying opportunity, in my opinion, because over the next few months, what everyone is expecting is not going to play out. That's what I'm thinking. You also need to look at market momentum. It's extremely fearful. People are continuing to panic. Then you want to look at the McCullen Volume Summation Index. This tends to mark bottoms for the stock market. In October of 2022, it marked the bottom. You can see this was down here at these extreme fear levels. And that's when the market got this monstrous bounce. And then starting in March, when the market started sinking, right? That's when the next time we hit these extreme fear levels. And this is when the market bottomed, right? If you go to March on the charts, let me actually pull this up using TradingView. I think it's going to be a little bit easier. But on March, you could see that that's when the market also bottomed, right? That the same thing happened with the extreme fear on the summation index. And then going into October, October, right? That's right now. We're in October right now. This is hitting those same extreme levels, suggesting that the market bottom is coming. Everyone is panicking. The put and call option positioning is very fearful. People are hedging for the crash that's coming. People are panicking. But what else is very interesting about all of this would be the fact that not only do these indicators suggest that the market bottom is coming, not only is the market being heavily shorted right now, we're seeing the shorts piling in with millions and millions of puts expiring throughout the next couple of weeks. On top of that, look at seasonality. So the seasonality pattern shows us, and this doesn't have to be for just midterm elections. I showed you guys this in the past. This is like any election in general. This tends to work. And also, you could compare this to the current trend. I did this last week. I showed you guys this relates to the trend very nicely. So as soon as we hit August, the market started to trade sideways and slow down. September was bearish, October was bearish, and the market tends to crash in October during this period. The market tends to bottom, right? You can see the market bottoms here. It bottoms or it makes a higher low. But in this case, it's going to be one of these two. And what happens after that tends to be very, very bullish for the market. And we tend to see some very nice upside for November and December. And I think that that's what's going to happen because this is still following seasonality. This was scheduled on the chart. It's just that it was very hard to tell how low the market was going to go. And if they keep dropping it, that's awesome. It's awesome. This is the opportunity to buy those dips. So now moving forward, what else do I want to add? I want to add something very, very important. Now, with the market selling off the way it has been over the last couple of weeks, we're also forming a nice Elliott wave structure on SPY. If you look at SPY, we still have this 5-wave count structure. I mean, I could still, draw this out for you. Just ignore the lines in the bottom, guys. I do apologize about that. But, we have a 3-wave. We finished wave 4. Now we're still on wave 5 for the final bottom, which is likely going to come very soon. And I believe that, something completely different from what everyone is expecting is going to play out. I believe that all of these technicals are going to align for something very beautiful. I also wanted to add that on the daily chart on SPY, we have a bullish divergence developing. Also on the 4-hour time frame, the same thing is developing. We have a nice bullish divergence. This is a double bullish divergence that's developing. And on the weekly, I'm not seeing it on the weekly just yet. The weekly still looks kind of weak. So there is potential downside coming, but I think the market could try to form a bottom very, very soon. So yes, we could drop a bit more. I could see, 405 on SPY, even 400. But I believe we're going to bounce somewhere around that range. I believe the market's set for a very, very nice run, and I still hold the same view as before. Now, I also wanted to talk about something else that's going on, and that's the fact that when you look at the way the market's looking from a technical standpoint, we're approaching some critical levels that can also point in the same direction. Okay. If the Fed does end up pausing or the Fed ends up saying that they're not going to raise this time around, that is going to be a major, major catalyst. And you can't forget that the Fed alone could have a big effect on the way the market's going to move. So all these technicals are telling us something very similar. I also wanted to add something else that's going on with the VIX. We have a divergence going on between the VIX and SPY, which suggests that the market is in a bottoming process. When you look at the VIX, you will notice that the VIX is forming a divergence. The VIX made a lower high. It made this high here. It came down, made a lower high. So we're making a lower high on the VIX. This tends to form a divergence because SPY is making a new low. We're making a lower low while the VIX is making a lower high, right? And that tends to mark bottoms as well, telling us that the market is in a bottoming process. So everything is kind of aligning in the same direction. That's my general view of how this market will move. My opinion could change if we get a black swan event, but so far I'm not seeing that. So what do I think the market's going to do? I think we're going to drop a little bit more. We have a gap down here on the daily on SPY, which could take us down to the lower 400s, 407, 404 levels like that. But very soon the market's going to bottom. The buyers will return, and the market's going to flip, possibly thanks to the Fed or something like that. I also wanted to add that it's an election year. They're not going to want the market to close this week. And then one of the bigger factors is going to be the fact that as time goes on, what I suspect is going to happen, and this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, what I'm about to say, and that is, I don't think there's going to be one big crash. I don't think there's going to be one massive stock market crash because everyone is expecting it. What I think is going to happen is we're going to enter the pump and dump market. Okay, it's going to be a kangaroo market for the next few months. Yes, there's going to be a recession. Yes, there's going to be hardships, but the stock market is not the economy. The stock market rallied, like I said before, in 2020, 2021. The stock market is not the economy. So, what's going to happen is I think the market's going to rally starting in very early November, and it's going to continue to rally going into December. It's going to make its way back up to these highs. It's probably going to try to fill these gaps up here by February. So, it's going to start off very strong. And then there's going to be another correction. The market's going to tank again, just like this. And then it's going to make its way back up and make its way back down. So it's going to go back and forth and back and forth. Notice what the market was doing for the last few months. We started off like well, I guess we could start like this. The market's been kind of just going back and forth between these levels. So if you look at like earlier this year, we saw the market kind of like pump back up to these high levels at 409. We came down, we came right back up, came down a little bit below it. We rallied really hard, came back down towards it. We're going to rally again, come back down towards it, rally again. We're going to keep doing that. That's what I think the market's going to do. And it may sound crazy, but I believe that what's happening is everyone is suspecting there's going to be a massive crash. I think there are going to be many crashes, but they're going to be small crashes, and then there are going to be pumps after them. And we're going to enter a kangaroo market very soon. That is my view of the market for 2024, at least for the first half or so. And I think that before we talk about 2024, though, in like more details, we're going to focus on the remainder of the year. And I think that there could be a bit more downside coming for SPY, but then we're going to see a very nice bounce for November and December. I'm quite confident it's going to play out this way. So, just wait a couple of weeks. You'll come back to this video and you're going to see something very magical. And the market is just going to trap as many people as possible. That's the goal. It's trying to destroy these people. Those market makers are very, very cunning. They're trying to make money off people. And they're not going to do it by letting us get one massive crash starting from now. That's not what they're going to do, in my opinion. I think, just like what the option chain is telling us, with all these shorts, they're going to get burned. And I think that we're going to see a nice rally for a few months. Then the market's going to tank again for a few months after that. Then for a few months, we're going to rally again after that and come back down. We're going to continue like this for many, many months to come, for maybe the next 6-7 months before the market tries to recover all over again, starts to rally. And I think that there's a lot of manipulation that's throwing a lot of people off. I think that fundamentals are not going to completely dictate how this market moves. Fundamentals can be weak, but the market could still rally because of external factors and manipulation. So the best thing to do is just read the charts, and we're getting many signals to suggest that the market is going to bottom soon. That's what I believe. That's what I'm thinking, guys. I could see 404 to 405 on the SPY. On SPX, we could see this thing break even lower. But we're not going to lose faith. We're not going to just give up on our trading journeys or anything like that. We're just going to remain calm, cool, and collected and watch these develop. We could see SPX approach this 4100 area, maybe break a little bit below it towards 4050, around there. That's a real possibility before this thing tries to bounce. Maybe not all the way down there. It could get very close to that. But I could see this drop a little bit more before the buyers come right back for November. That's the direction I'm leaning in, and that's what I have for this video. My view is very consistent. I have not changed my view. The only thing that changed for me is the fact that I could see the market dropping even lower than what I initially suspected. But for now, we just have to accept it and just remain calm, cool, and collected, guys. So thank you for listening. Have a great day. Please enjoy the rest of the weekend and get ready for something very interesting to come later on for the markets. All right, so have a great day and peace out.